Hello, Mr. Mailer here, your online math teacher, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be continuing my video series on z-scores and normal distribution. So if you find this video helpful, consider smashing the like button, subscribing, and let's go. So, in particular today, I'm going to show us how we can read a z-score table. So, as you normally would have, z-scores relate to how many standard deviations you are away from your mean. And we typically use these in problems where we have some sort of situation that is modeled through a normal distribution. So a standard normal distribution was one with a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1, because that's what we take our data and we transport it into when we have z-scores. So say, for instance, I have a z-score in my problem of z is equal to 2.23. And usually in these problems, you're looking for what's the probability of getting a value greater than or less than that. And that's really areas here. So, and maybe I'm interested in area greater than that value. So here's where it comes into use in our table. First off, every table will be slightly different. So you can see the one I have here gives you areas to the, or probabilities, to the left of your z-score values. So since I want area to the right, I will need to do a little bit of math afterward. If I only wanted the area to the left, so say I want this orange area, I just need to read directly from my table. So let's see how we can make this work. So I have my z-score of 2.23. So what that means is I am going to go to my z-score table. Since I have a z-score of 2.23, I am first going to look at the 2.2 to decide what row I'm going to look at. And you can see these are all negative z values. So I go until I find my 2.2 row. So this is the row of values I'm going to look at. Once I've identified this row, I now look to my second decimal here, the 3. That's going to tell me what column I want. So I'm going to go to the 0.03 column. So the 0.03 column is what I have here. And where my intersection is, that is going to be the area to the left of my z-score value, because that's how this table is oriented. It gives you area or probabilities to the left. So in this case, what that tells me is that in my picture up here, the area to the left, which is this orange area, is 0.9871. So 0.9871. And that means if I want this purple area, because I know the total area under a normal curve adds up to 1, all I would do is subtract my 0.9871 off of 1, because the remainder of the area has to be to the right of my z-score value. And in this case, that would leave me with an area of 0.0129. So this is typically going to be how you will read your z-score table. There are other situations where maybe I start out with a picture and I don't know what I know I'm looking at my normal curve here, so 0, 1. Maybe I know that my area to the left of some number is about 0.07, and I'm looking for what z-score that would correspond to. Well, this is when you would read your table in reverse, because I would know the area or the probability now. I'd be looking for where a 0.07 is in the inside of my table. So I'd quickly scan. I know since it's less than 0.5, I'm looking at negative z-score values. And I can see I'm in the 0.6s right around here, 0.8s, 0.7. And since I want 0.07 and I'm assuming 0 after that, I'm going to see I'm going from a 0.07 value is going to be between here. So what you can either do, depending on what your teacher wants, you might take your row to be negative 1, 4, and the columns, which are here, your teacher might tell you to just take a z-score value of negative 1.47, negative 1.48, or what I tell people sometimes is split the difference, negative 1.475. So something along these lines. Your teacher will tell you how they want you to round that. But this is how I could figure out what z-score corresponds to that area. So I hope you found this video on reading these tables helpful. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe, and have an awesome day.